There we go. Thomas, how are you doing tonight? Happy Friday Eve.
We made it. We did.
We did. Thank you. We got the memo. The gray shirt, polo, button down.
I don't have a logo. You forgot the hat. I forgot a logo.
We'll call it a draw.
It washes out.
How are you doing?
Oh,
how's your
good?
Thursday?
Thursday's good. It feels like a really, really long week for some reason. I don't know why. Federal holiday right in the middle. A lot of our customers were off work, so work's maybe been a little bit slow. That might contribute to feeling long, but I'm also tired. I don't know why, because I don't work that hard, but I'm tired.
Oh man, I'm also tired, but I have this little idea in my head. The music needs to go away because I can't talk and think at the same time. I've got this little idea in my head that after the podcast is over, no rush. After the podcast is over, I think I'm going to read like 83 pages of spiciness from the Thug in a live stream. I think we're going to do a bonus live stream tonight.
So you're going to do it tonight?
Now that I've put the idea out there, I sort of have to. But
fair.
Yeah, I think we're going to do it.
So for those that are watching, wondering what he's talking about, Young Thug's co-defendant dropped a motion, and it's 83 pages worth. So Scott's talking about reading 83 pages when the podcast is over for your listening pleasure. People have asked about a book reading. This is going to be about it.
It was either that or I tear apart the tractor again, and I figured this would be less painful.
No,
and probably more successful.
Depends. So Amber's excited, and then Smith says, "Not it." But well, cool. That works out perfect. We'll do the podcast. Keep it on its in its time frame, and make sure we don't run too long. That way, you can dive into 83 pages.
We've got all night. We've got all night.
We do. While you do that, I'll throw an AirPod in the ear and listen to you read it while I continue to keep my sod watered out front that I have to do every podcast for the last like 7 weeks. That's what I've been doing because it requires a lot.
I'm frantically looking for a new background because Tumwater Troy called me out because I've just been lazy and haven't changed my background.
He doesn't like the courthouse?
He didn't. I think. I mean, I'm not sure if this is much better, but there you go, Troy. Asking you to receive.
There's your new background.
No, let's see. I think I can do some. Let's see. That's an MPEG. Can't do that.
Well, if we're gonna play games, I'll do that one. That's actually one I took in our town a couple of weeks ago, but the storm is.
I just downloaded these off the internet, so I don't have.
Oh no, I went away.
Oh, you're back.
Oh,
you're back. The camera lost you for a second.
So that's a real one. Which is kind of fun. That's an iPhone 8, baby. Still kicking. It still gets it done. If I could upgrade, I could get
iPhone 8, Thomas.
Just
at what point? Oh,
just a little iPhone 8 still.
At some point, the carrier is going to just reach out to you and say, look, we'll just pay you to upgrade because we have to keep this old equipment up and running as long as you're using that old iPhone. we just want you to get with the times. But
it's so old, I can no longer do the new iOS updates on it. Last time I tried it said it requires a new software, new phone. You can't. So I'm stuck with what it is. But
your days with it are numbered.
Okay, here's the thing. It's all about principle, right? My wife and my daughter.
Who are you proving the principle of this to? Okay, go ahead. I'm all ears.
My wife and my daughter, they love gadgets. They love new everything. So they have had every single iPhone that's come out every year, both of them same time. They order them together. They do the whole data transfer. everything. So they've always got them. So they tease me about my old phone. And every once in a while, my daughter will grab my phone for something, and she goes, "Your phone is so slow. It's so laggy. Oh my gosh!" Like I go, "Yep, but it works. It texts and it calls. So speed racer."
This is what it looks like to drive a police car drunk. Apparently, this is the Canton view.
Yeah. Headed to
It looks like
43
all the
Fairview.
lights are either emanating from the back of my head or I don't know. But we'll keep this for a little while. We'll see. I don't have anything else. Tomorrow, Troy, if you've got a good suggestion for a background, somewhere I had like a beach. That's a chase background. Which one's that?
So yeah, it's principal. So I will keep it until it no longer texts or calls, just out of the point of I don't need the brand new gadget. I have toys. I've got,
I'm
I love
happy.
that one.
I'm
That's a
happy.
good one.
I'm on the beach. So, I think that's admirable of you. I got an extra syllable in there. I think admirable of you.
You got it.
But you're missing out on so much goodness.
Well, okay. So the technology is improved, but obviously the battery is done because look, I have to have it plugged in to this.
24/7.
I have to have it plugged in all the time.
I've got the 12 Pro and do the exact same thing.
Yeah. Okay.
But this can keep me going all week. I mean, this is just a massive anchor.
Same. So, but the only problem is when I unhook it, I have about 30 minutes before it goes from 100 to 10%. So it's 24/7. It's hooked up to a charger, but it's fine. I don't mind. It's a minor inconvenience to prove to the girls that it's okay to not have all the nicest newest things. And that's what I'm
My
standing
neighbor,
on.
KR, he came over and talked to me about my tractor today while I was working on it. He came over earlier in the week and he said, "Hey, can you help me fix my phone?" I'm like, sure. You need to download an app. I mean, what you got? And he hands me a Kyocera flip phone.
Still kicking.
I'm like, and so I'm like, Google, like Google archives cell phone maintenance for ancient phones. And I pull it up and he's like, yeah, I can't get it to do anything. And it just flashes the Kyocera start screen. And so I'm checking the power, changing the power supply. And it, believe it or not, it has USB-C plug. So it's like, it's fairly new. Tried everything. And finally I'm like, I did like a deep state hack and got into the boot state of the phone. And even then couldn't get past the load up. And so I'm like, you know what? Your phone's broken. I suggest the iPhone 16 or whatever model is. But he sent it off and he just wants that one repaired. So I'm like, well, good luck. That's all I'll say.
It's one model newer than a rotary. I mean, that's what that is. I mean, well, I guess it would be rotary, the Nokia brick, and then the Nokia flip.
Yeah.
Or you said Kyocera.
It's an off-brand Nokia flip.
Oh, okay.
It was a lot like it's sort of beefy. It's sort of like a ruggedized flip phone, like safe for kids. But it's the screen to text. You have to click the 5 button like five times to get to the letter and everything. It's terribly slow.
The T9, right? Isn't that what that was called? The T9 of the click. But
I used to be so good at that too. I could just hammer out that. You know how many times to tap each number.
Oh my gosh, I would love to hand that phone to my daughter now and say, "Good luck talking to your friends."
Birthday.
Yeah, you're getting to sync on this one, no chance. Officer Brian and Roy are in chat. Officer Brian says, "I wish I had a flip phone. I'm hanging up now." Click. You could do that sandwich click of the phone.
The flip side of the flip phone was the battery lasted forever.
Yes.
I mean, once a week you might charge it, and then it's just because you didn't want to have to charge it sometime later next week, and that was it. So you could never be like, "Oh, sorry, the phone's dead." It's like, no, your battery lasts forever. It's like a lifetime battery in those things because there's nothing on it that sucks battery unless you're on the phone.
So true. So I have a story that's going to completely expose myself. But it's so I wasn't allowed to get a cell phone until I could drive a car. Parents said, nope, can't have one. But when you have a car, then you need one because we need to be able to get in touch. So I went to the Verizon store and I had a budget from some money I saved up, and my parents were going to add a little bit of money to help me out, of course, because I was, young and school, blah, blah, blah. And so I found this Motorola flip phone, and I really liked it. I wish I remember the model, but I don't recall what it was. But I never had one. It was sleek, it was clean, it was nice. And the salesman was saying, "Hey, what about the Motorola, the new Razor Color? They just came out with the new Razor colored flip phone." And I said, "No, I like mine," because mine was like kind of green with just black font flip phone, but it was silver case. It was nice. And he kept telling me about that. Dude, the new color phone just came out. I can do it to the same price. And I'm telling him, I'm fine. No, I'm fine. And so I go to check out and get everything all set up, and I leave, and I go to hockey practice that night with my teammates. One of my teammates, I pull out my new phone. I'm like, of course, I'm a young kid, right? 16. So I'm like, I got a phone. Check it out. Cool. My other teammate's like, I got one today too. And he pulls out the Motorola Razor flip phone color. And it's just a gray phone. When the salesman was telling me color, I thought he meant colored faceplate housing of the
I thought it
phone.
was going to be pink. You're like, no, that's not my style.
Pink, blue, black. I didn't know what he meant. I thought it was the outside of the phone. I didn't know he meant the screen is now available with colors. I did not know that's what he meant. And here's my friend opens his phone and it's all colored and it's all radical
He's all playing
looking.
games, and you can like see the difference. Oh, man.
100%. And I totally whiffed on the opportunity because I didn't understand what the guy meant. So I was locked in. You know, back then you're locked in with your phone just that you get free ones.
It's like an ironclad contract.
Yes.
It's worse than a prison sentence. You just cannot get out of it.
Right. So I went from up here with getting a phone in my own, and it's a flip phone, it's cool, to my friend an hour later showed me this phone that I rejected that was 10 times cooler than the one I opted for the same cost.
You had 1 hour of bliss.
Yes. Yes.
And then 2 years of regret.
Yes. It was bad. I was so sad. His phone was so stinking cool. And then, of course, as the hockey season went on and all of our teammates are turning 16, this and that, they're all coming over with the Razor Motorola flip color phones. And now I'm the one with a new phone that's outdated by years because of the technology. I'll never forget that story. I'll never forget where I was standing in the rink, where we were, the 4 guys in the circle standing there when he pulled it out of his pocket. It still resides to this
You're all
day.
on skates and on the ice. You're like, hey, check out my phone. And you're like, oh, the screen. You didn't say it was a screen.
Yeah. And that's over half my lifetime ago. And I'll never forget it.
Man.
But
The scars are deep.
they are. I think that's why I'm holding on to the old Yeller here. Maybe it's subconscious of why.
I think the first phone I got was the Nokia brick.
Mm-hmm.
Like they call it a brick because it literally, if you're from the side, it looked like you could probably build houses out of it now. They would work. But then I
play Snake.
Somehow I managed to upgrade to like the flat phone version that looks like a house phone, but more like with colored buttons.
Yeah.
And I did it pretty quickly because I had those 2 phones, and then like technology, it went sort of funny because there was like a mad rush where all the phone makers were trying to shrink the cell phone because the brick was so big.
Right.
And it got to the point where Mrs. RA and I at one point had phones that were just like these little, it looked like a key fob.
Right.
And you're hello.
Yeah.
You move it down your mouth and back up to your ear so you can hear. It was just so tiny. And that was the point where they just like no. Now you look at Apple. Their latest phone can easily be mistaken for an iPad XL. I mean, it's like it's a tablet that you hold to your ear.
Yeah, it's like holding up something this big, and that's part of the reason. So it's not all spite. That's part of the reason I like my 8. It's just a normal size iPhone. I say normal because that's what iPhones are to me. I don't want the big giant thing. I don't like things in my pockets. I don't like carrying around bulky items. I do wish I had the better camera because obviously I like to take weather photos and videos, and I could get some really fun ones since I go out and I don't chase them, but I go spot them and whatnot versus what comes out of my 8. But it's all about principle, man.
as we're talking about phones, there's actually a story we wanted to talk about that has to do with phones, specifically Apple phones and messages. Um, and we often in court, we hear these text messages being read aloud in court, and it's like cringeworthy. It's like, why would anyone ever put that in a
Yes.
text message, right?
Yeah.
This gentleman is suing Apple for $6.3 million.
Must have something pretty valid to go off of for that chunk of change.
That's the cost of his divorce.
Oh,
Yeah, because Apple,
that's hefty.
in its brilliance, in its technology, how you just plug it in and it just works with your other devices.
Yeah.
Well, he plugged it in, and it worked with their home computer, so everything would sync up. You can transfer files and everything. Your
Yeah.
messages go back and forth, and at least he thought he had deleted them from his phone, but they copied over to his home computer, which his wife was on. And she saw the text messages with his girlfriend.
Uh-oh.
And then she called the lawyer. And so he's suing Apple for showing his wife his deleted text messages and trying to. I don't think it's going to fly. But
no, that's that dang cloud will get you.
Yeah, a little bit of solicitation on iMessage, I guess, was read in his divorce court. And when the ruling came down, he had to provide. It was about £5 million, so $6.3 million was how they divided everything up. The new high divorce.
Wow, that's wild. Good on her. So I have a personal story actually on that. I was dating a gal at the time, and I had suspicions of her ex coming back around because I witnessed something that made it pretty prevalent, actually. So it wasn't really suspicions. It was almost just pure evidence. Apparently, Facebook Messenger messages, or I don't know if there was Messenger back then when whatever, were removed from the phone. But as I sat on said couch and her said laptop was open in front of me while she went off to shower or do something, Facebook was wide open and Messenger went ding, and
you've got mail.
populated the screen of messages I went, what is that? And I went, wait, what? And I looked at it, and there was a couple months worth. I started to scroll because it was a very forward message that popped up on the screen. So I started doing a little scrolling. Went, oh, cool. I'm the sidekick. I'm not the primary one. So
yeah, mail.
Yes, you've got another mail. So that obviously that didn't last, but that's a fantastic thing because my now wife is amazing. So, but yeah, it's kind of a similar situation. I think she thought everything was clear off of her phone, but bing, it was on the laptop.
Tech, every time tech will get you.
Yeah.
Which is funny because sometimes we love tech, and I personally, I'm guilty of that. As you know, I tried to buy it all. It's a condition I have, and I'll probably die with the same condition. But sometimes technology does things you don't expect, right?
Yeah.
For instance, we're all excited about AI and what it can do. Well, you're not specifically with your job, but
not at all. Nope.
But AI is really making inroads into our life in ways that we never could have imagined even 5 years ago.
It is.
10 years ago, I never thought that I could pass a college class, but with ChatGPT, and now it's reasonably possible. There's opportunities. I wouldn't suggest doing that one, but there's things out there. With AI comes driverless cars.
Yeah, delivery vehicles.
Which use cameras and they sense everything. And basically, in a way, the way this was sold to us is that they see everything. I've not seen Terminator. I was thinking iRobot. One of us. Yeah.
iRobot's creepy.
3 laws safe, guys. 3 laws safe. But the idea was the driverless cars have 360-degree vision that is perfect, and sometimes it even uses like shortwave infrared and lidar and everything else, and it can see things that humans can't. And where we might be distracted by some motion or some light or something that's happening or something in the car, the all-seeing eye never gets distracted, and it would be safer.
Right.
Well, there's a let me see the brand name here. We're going to call them out by name. Waymo issues software and mapping recall. After one of their driverless cars crashed into a telephone pole, a stationary object. And yeah, it's like accidents happen, right? Accident happened, and it was going down a weird road, and it was a strange scenario. But deep in the story, as you dig in and hear what actually happens, they sort of let loose that the way the car works, as it's looking at everything all at once, it uses a point system to say what each item is worth, as far as danger.
Like I'm in a conundrum. Which one should I hit based off my point scale?
Yes. And I'm sitting here thinking, well, just out of curiosity, where does a pedestrian rank, and what's above it and what's below it? At which point is the car that is autonomously driving by me on the street is going to be like, yeah, swerve, get him. What point does this algorithm look at me and say, fair game?
Yes. I want to see the point system.
It's obviously it's proprietary information.
Gotta be.
Inquiring minds want to know.
They went, they hit the power pole instead of the 95-year-old pedestrian. We could have lost power, so the car failed. So recall. Because I don't mean, what is it? That's nuts. So that reminds me of a story in a like a driver's test scenario. This gentleman who's the instructor asked this young lady and says, okay, we're approaching an intersection. There's an older gentleman who's in his late 80s, and there's a youngster on a bicycle. What do you hit first? And she goes, well, the older guy, he's older. The youngster has a longer life to live, so I guess I'll hit the older guy. And the instructor goes, no, what you hit first, you hit the brake. You hit the brake first. You fail. Apparently she was not getting a lot of any of the driving stuff. And so, yeah, you hit the brake. She went to pick which one, like the AI car.
Yep.
Which one
I'm worried that cars are going to do this. I think they need to do full disclosure how these cars decide where to swerve in an accident. Because, I mean, iRobot sort of, the movie touches on that a little bit. It calculates survivability rates, right? Well, this is just one step further. And unfortunately, it's the step that we as people are on first. Before we're not using robots to save us. We're using them to ferry us around. And so this is the problem we ran into first.
God, that's so wild. It's, I will say this too. Obviously AI is a huge debate in the political world and in just the average world, right? We had a family reunion, as I had mentioned last week, over the weekend. So we're driving home. It's about 2 hours and 20-minute drive from there back home on Sunday morning. And I'm driving our truck, which our truck has lane assist. So it can sense the lines in the road. So as you get a little too close, you're about to go over that line, it kind of nudges your steering wheel back in to stay in your lane, right?
Yeah, just a little.
Just a little boop, boop, and it actually puts you. Now, if you have your blinker on, that obviously that function doesn't work because it understands you're trying to intentionally cross that. And I hate it with a passion. And I get so angry about it. And I always tell my wife, I'm like, how do I turn this crap? Because I don't drive the truck that often. I always tell her, how do I turn this crap off? Because we're traveling up the highway about 80 miles an hour. And it's up 287 North, which is a main thoroughfare from the southern to northern U.S. Cuts it right in half, heavily traveled. Tons and tons of trucks, right? So as I'm driving, well, here's an 18-wheeler he's crossing into my lane. You're always navigating, watching people around you and what's going on. So I naturally am inching over towards my shoulder to get away from him as I go. Well, as I'm doing that, the truck's pushing me into said truck. like, this is the worst safety feature ever because I'm avoiding this giant truck and it's pushing me back to it. So I snapped and said, "Turn this off now!" And where is it? And killed it. So some things I think are handy. Some are a pain, and it's all preference, I think, for people, of course, and what the purpose is.
When I took the Audi down to Florida for the road trip,
Yes.
it had that feature.
Okay.
And
Did you like it?
rumor is that if you wrap a towel around the steering wheel, it simulates grip on the steering wheel, and then the car will just drive itself for a long, long time. I'm not I'm not saying this is a good idea. No, I did. I loved it. I especially because I like looking out the window, especially if I'm in a new area. I realize it's not safe, but if it's nice to just have a second set of eyes looking on the road in case I do, glance too long looking for an alligator or an iguana or something I'd never seen in real life before. It's nice to just it's nice to have that reminder. Stay in your lane. That's it. I
So
didn't do the towel thing. I just said rumor.
No, so two takeaways. One, you're a distracted driver. Two, you stole a towel from Dr. Goodhair's Airbnb.
Such a nice towel, though.
You stole a towel from Dr. G's Airbnb.
Oh man, he was the most gracious host. It was wonderful.
That was a fun night when you were there checking in and he walked in and you guys were hanging out and he joined. That was a fun live stream to watch that evening.
I
That
literally
was cool.
I didn't want to snoop around, okay, but I'm
No,
looking.
you wanted to, but you didn't.
I didn't want to because first of all, I didn't know for sure I was in the right place. The
I
door was
remember you
open,
saying.
but I'm like looking around. I'm like, all I need is just like a family picture somewhere, just so I can see. I need Dr. Goodhair somewhere on the wall or a name somewhere, so I just know I'm in the right spot. And there was nothing. It was like it was clean. It was this sanitized version. Anyone could have lived there.
So it was a doctor's Airbnb. It's clean as a whistle.
And then he comes flying through the door, and oh my goodness, cousin, who's in my place? Yeah. Oh my goodness. Well, we're live. Yeah,
that's right. Oh, he's got so much energy. That was so cool. Melissa P says, I missed this. You need to go back onto Scott's channel. How many months ago was that?
It was quite a while. It was when we were down in Florida for the hearing for
the Maya
shortly
trial.
after the Maya trial was over, a few weeks after the Maya trial was over.
Yeah. But it was really cool. Scott made the trip down there from North Carolina to Florida, so we could be part of that hearing.
It was awesome.
And there was super chat train that should have been bartered for gas money. But really cool. Dr. Joe opened up his Airbnb for Scott to hang out and stay during the trip. And while he was there, Dr. Joe came in. As he arrived in town, and it was just a complete ad lib live stream test. And they sat down, hung out, chatted, and that was all of that was within first 1 minute of you guys actually ever meeting in person, and you were there doing a live stream.
Never met him before in my life, and he was just like, he's just that amazing. And
that was cool
throughout the entire stay. Anything I wanted, needed, or even had the fondest desire for, he was just like, how can we make it happen? So
cool. You know what we need to do? I know he's done a few lives, and I've caught a couple of them, but not all. But it's been a while. We need to get him on the podcast just to do a catch up, see how he's doing, how his wife's restaurant is, if he still stays in touch with the Kowalskis, and just, hey, how's life? How's he doing? I think that'd be fun.
Last I heard, they did a cool family vacation where he took the family like to Italy or something, and just like the whole family. They're like nearly all grown kids. Okay, so they're old, bigger kids, so they can really enjoy a trip to a foreign country where younger kids probably not so much.
Right,
but
they'd appreciate it.
It was really cool.
Cool. Did the Kowalskis go too, or is it just you said?
Oh no, it was just the doctor's wife and his kids.
Well, that'd be a fun catch-up podcast. Maybe we could reach out and see if he wants to hop on and hang out for a little bit.
Yeah, I talk to him occasionally about tech, because he's always up in his
Okay.
technology. I keep telling him, just bite the bullet and just buy everything I send you on this list. And he's like, well, I don't want to, I'm not sure if I want to go into that. And next thing he's like, okay, now we need to get a burner phone. So how do you get the burner phone in? So I'm like, okay, that takes a little bit of hardware, and that's this and this. And then he's like, okay, I got the burner phone now. Want to do this. So it's fun. It's fun to watch him get excited about something I'm excited about as well.
That's cool. We'll reach out and see what happens. I know that stuff can be expensive, so that easily ties into always have to do a lottery story or two.
Yes.
And actually, there's two that I really like on this one, especially this one. So there's a gentleman, I forget where he's from. Let me see, Michigan, of course, another Michigan person. Now, this one is a little bit different because he's been playing for quite a while. In fact, he has his own. I guess it's a thing. I didn't know. North Carolina stealing Six Flags headquarters. Oh, from Arlington, Texas. That's probably a good thing. Might be safer. But so this guy has a lottery account online where he can log in and play and whatnot. And so he'd been playing for quite a while, and he's always mixing up his numbers. So let's see. His dad says, "Hey, you play so often, you're always mixing up your numbers. Why don't you just roll with your set of numbers? You probably have better odds that way than always switching around. You might be chasing your tail. It's all luck, but who knows? Just roll with it." So he said, that's what I did. He goes, he purchased an online subscription. They've been playing the same set of numbers for a couple of years, and been playing in total for many years. Now, kept the same number for 2 years, and he won $7.1 million. Nailed it. And he gives all the credit to his dad for the advice of rolling with those same numbers because he'd been playing for so long and never hit a lick.
So mathematically, if you sit down and talk to a math teacher, it doesn't matter what numbers you pick, right?
There's a movie on that, yeah.
The odds of your numbers coming up are the same every single time.
Right.
So
it's like, it's all chance, right? But at least he believed it and gave it to his dad. Said, yeah, you did it. So, and there's another one, a guy in, I believe this is your hometown. Yeah, North Carolina. I remember this from earlier, of course. He saw a friend post on his Facebook that he won $100 off a scratch off. So he's like, I'll go try it. So he goes the very next day. My friend won $100 on a scratch off. I'm going to try one. It's not a gambler at all. Kind of like my story weeks back. Grabs a scratch off, does it 400,000. Bam.
Yeah. There's a scratch off. That's us again.
Nails it. Just because he saw a friend's post and says, I'll try it too. 400,000.
He's like, yeah, not for me. Yeah, I'm not a scratch off guy.
This isn't that fun. Yeah.
I tried it once.
Isn't that crazy? I mean, there's people that play those scratch offs like every day religiously. And, they win and they lose and they win and they lose and they get a free scratch off and they win. And then you get a first timer walks in 400,000. I mean, game over. It's incredible.
See, the scratch offs are the only one that I'd be tempted to play because you have a fixed number of entries per contest.
Yeah.
And in many states, they're required to post online which prizes have been claimed in specific contests. And you have numbered playing pieces. So you've got like, it's not like it's like counting cards at a casino. You can do some math and say, okay, on day one, when all these were first out there and all the different stores were selling them, it was my chance of winning the jackpot was 1 in a million.
Right.
Well, they've sold 750,000 of these and the jackpot's still out there. Now my chances are 1 in a quarter million.
Right.
So, so that's, at least it gives you a little better odds. Still terrible, but
so the moral of the story is
every time you lose one for one time, wins one.
Yeah. Breezy. Scratchers are my weakness. I just won $75 on a $5 ticket. I mean, it happens. I see it all the time. Yeah. It's crazy, but I don't know. I have not bought one since our last up. Maybe I'll get one tomorrow and I'll hold it and I'll scratch it off on next Thursday's podcast. That's what I'll do.
Okay. Your cousin won in a scratch ticket and paid off her house. First time player.
See, that's crazy. First time player just bam paid off that. That's so awesome. That's hilarious.
Tell you, winning big is like the dream, right? It's the American. Everyone wants the job with the huge fat paycheck and the easy job description.
Yeah.
There's a guy that won big. Let's see, magnet fishing in New York was where it was. I have to see where it was at in New York.
You've done that before, right?
I have. I've most recently I magnet fished in my sewer line, and that's not the story I want to share. But
did you get the hammer back for the film?
We made a full recovery. Let's put it that way. But typically, when they say magnet fishing, we're talking about somebody. You can buy these super high strength magnets and tie them to a rope, and then you throw them out into the water. And you drag them along the bottom of the creek or in a canal or a lake, or usually it's water. Sometimes it's down a well. But you throw them and you're trying to just grab something, and you never know what it is. So it's like fishing. That's why it's magnet fishing, because you could catch anything or nothing. And sometimes usually it's junk, because nails, screws, bolts, discarded handguns from crimes, things like that, they're all in the water there.
It's junk.
It's junk. Old grenades that nobody wanted around the house anymore, they all get thrown in the river. And so you throw this magnet in there and you can catch stuff. Well, there's a couple actually up in New York, fishing a waterway, reeled in a safe
That's a heavy load,
containing $100,000.
Who throws a safe in the river with money in it?
Well, probably somebody who stole it and that couldn't open it and wanted to hide the evidence. But money in a safe in water gets in, money disintegrates. So they're in a race against time trying to preserve this money and save it. Because if you do it right, you can send it into the Federal Reserve, even damaged money. If you can send it enough to show that you have the full bill, like more than half, 50% of the bill, they can send you a new $100 bill for your old damaged one. And so they're in a rush now to try to preserve this badly deteriorating money. And to turn into real cash. But $100 bills, cha-ching.
Can you imagine? That would feel like a dream. That would feel so fake to me. I wouldn't believe it. I wonder how they opened said safe, or if maybe water over time allowed the safe, once they got it up, to just
it just takes willpower and a big hammer. Like almost every safe is openable. It's just whether you want to be able to close it again afterwards. And so you just take bigger and bigger tools. A lot of times power equipment can be used, like tractors and things. It's a little early for me to talk about tractor right now. I'm still a little bitter with what happened today.
Too soon.
But
wow.
Yeah. That's the big score, is the safe. And did they get the money? Yes, they did.
They did. Yeah, Tammy, there's some cool YouTubers. And I drew a blank. I was about to say there is, and so
now you can't think of any.
Yeah, and I forget his name. I really like, he's younger. Jigging with Jordan.
Yes.
Started off with a lot of actual fishing stuff, and then it went to magnet fishing, and now he does like a lot of diving and things of that nature. But he's just an aquatics guy. But there are
phones, sunglasses, guns, and he'll travel around the country. Go to like popular swimming sites and just dive down. He always runs in. The law doesn't like him very much. He's been in trouble a couple places. Sometimes the police actually have a problem with people that are magnet fishing. It's like, look, everything was fine until you pulled that grenade out of the water. Nobody had a problem with there being a grenade in the water, but now they've got it on the end of a magnet. We have to call the bomb squad and shut down the roads, and everyone has to stand out here in the rain while we detonate this what might be just a dummy grenade. And so some of them get a little frustrated.
They do.
You again, huh? You dug up another Civil War shell out of the river, did you?
Yeah, you could tell. It's funny because it's all captured on video and they post it all, but it's true. It's okay. Now I have to write a 5-page report for nothing. I really appreciate it. Yeah, that's wild. I've seen a lot of those videos. They're pretty neat. Some of the stuff they find, it's really interesting.
Now you have to check the laws because they're starting to make it illegal to magnet fish. First of all, it's mostly a safety concern standing on the side of the road because a lot of the good rivers, there's no shoulder. you're just like on the side of a 2-lane freeway,
narrow bridge.
and
Where to go?
trying to think thin thoughts while the semi roars by. So, but anyway, fun story out of Denmark. If we want to jump to that one, Denmark has made something illegal. Any guesses what it is? No, it's not sunbathing. Sans yeah, that's still legal. You're still good there, Denmark.
Still 2 of those beaches in Texas, by the way. I read the other day. So I got a cheat code. I saw this article, and I actually, I want to try it. I'm not going to give it away yet. It's your story to tell, but I love a version of this like this because I'm always trying to find the highest level possible of this.
Okay. And so if you can't tell, we're talking about heat, hot. Today, my friend KR came across the road and he's carrying a bag of chips and he had just opened them. He's like, these are too hot. And I look at him, it says honey habanero on them. I'm like, delicious. You know, and he's like, you want these? Because these are gonna burn twice. Here you go. You know, he gives me a bag of honey habanero chips.
Were they the new Lay's potato chip?
Yeah, delicious.
Oh my I have 10 feet over there. There's a bag of those sitting right there on my counter.
They're so good. They're so good. And maybe they get hotter if you have if you eat the whole bag, but a couple of them. Okay. Now I need to get my bag from the kitchen now. A couple of them, they just taste good. They're spicy. They're spicy, but it's not like the like acid on your tongue or, sticking your tongue in the fire type thing. It's not that hot. But they are so good. Yes. Kettle cooked. Those are the very same ones. Honey habanero.
They're so good, and they're not spicy at all.
Yeah.
Now, this particular batch is stale, but
they're still good.
They're still good. You still eat them.
So, Denmark has banned a spicy food. Do we see anything in chat? Was anyone guessing? I forgot to look.
No, I saw a few things that were not relevant, which is fitting.
Hot sauce, tequila. Weed or cannabis? I think that might be a different conversation.
Yeah, that's one I saw earlier.
So now you can just eat one. That's a bug dugger.
I guess I better. It's going to be really stale.
Yeah.
I'll eat one, though. I'm going to mute my mic sort of. Well, I was going to say so it doesn't crunch to the mic. No, that's probably.
We want to hear the full.
There it is.
Where is it up there?
Yeah.
Who got it? You want to click on it? Because I'm not seeing it.
Yeah, I try to hit it, but same person.
Spicy noodles. Yes, Angela, 100% correct. Not just any spicy noodles. Oh, that's not stale. That's still got some crunch to it. That's still good.
I can eat more than one.
Okay, so Weather Watch goes crunch, crunch, crunch. Right here, boom. These are the spicy noodles, which have been banned in Denmark for safety reasons.
Too spicy.
They're too hot.
I want to know who made that judgment call, though.
I don't know. I think there's got like a minister of spicy foods or something that his job is to test everything. He's like, yeah, it's a bit warm, but we'll allow it. I'll allow it. And then this comes along. He's like, no. So illegal ramen in Denmark.
Oh, I guess I see why. There's a TikToker captioned, I cried. 3 times spicy nuclear fire noodle challenge. User Mark Eats 2023 tried the 3 times spicy hot chicken flavor before tearfully reaching for nearby glass of milk while crying. Okay.
Denmark doesn't want to see you cry, apparently.
I want to get my hands on. Someone's got to have them out there, right? It's on eBay somewhere.
You think now, of all places, people in Denmark are being like, well, now I want to try them.
Now that's illegal. I'm in.
If the minister of spice says no, I'm all for that.
I'm gonna pull it up right now. It's
do you need the brand? Let me put it up on the screen again. It's this one right here.
Oh, perfect.
Boldak
noodles.
This is the 2X spicy. Is there a 3X?
That's what the article said from the spicy challenge. Oh, right here. Sale. Samuel, 3X spicy bulldog hot ramen 1 pack Oh, not available in the US. Last batch, $8 for one pack, but that one's not available in the
Steal
US.
half the price. I find it interesting that on the picture, it's like a chicken holding a bomb.
It is. It really is.
And I understand the 2 times spicy. The burn twice thing makes sense to me. The third, I'm not sure exactly what they're getting at.
1,
But
2.
2.
Well, yeah. I think I found one. Oh, yeah, I found one that they can ship. It's a 3 times spicy pack and a ghost pepper pack. It's
If you don't have enough regret from the first one,
$16 each. So $16 for a little tiny pack of
ramen
fake
should
noodles.
cost 10 cents a package. Honestly, if you look at what's in there, they should pay you to take it.
And $12 shipping. So I'm at $28 to try the 3 times spicy pack. $28.
Angela's saying, if I find it, can I send it to you?
100%. I'll try it. I would love to try it because there's no way it's near like the one chip challenge type spicy. It's not on that Scoville level, right? Can't be.
I don't know.
Or can it?
I imagine the powder inside
itself.
that is like one chip challenge just ground up.
Probably, yeah. I tell you what, I will try it on the podcast if we can somehow commandeer a pack of this. I don't want to pay $28 for one pack, but I'll keep looking.
Yeah, that's a bit much. Are you on eBay? Where are you looking?
Yeah, I'm on eBay, and it was like the 3rd or 4th listing on my search. And it's someone's got it because it says free pickup in Morton Grove, Illinois. So it's someone in the US got one. No.
2x spicy. I'm gonna do 2x. I don't think I'm ready for a 3x.
Lenovo says it's not worth your life, Thomas. Oh, Amy Kimball says they're on Amazon.
Prime could have it here tomorrow. Let's see. Spicy ramen. Oh, you can get a variety pack, 10 flavors for $32. Okay.
So they specifically mention the 3 times spicy chicken. I think that's what's got a here's a pack for $20. Is that free shipping?
I can see the 2x for $11, and it's a pack of 5. Same thing for $11, pack of 5. Is it the black package or the red one you're looking at?
The one I'm looking at is the red, and then the bottom right corner says 3x spicy with a black background circle. Hot chicken flavored ramen. And there's a big cherry bomb, limited edition. And it says, I thought it said ouch. No, it doesn't say it, but there's a bunch of dancing peppers.
That must be good. If it has dancing peppers.
It can't be that hot. Ingredients: noodle, wheat flour, modified tapioca, starch, refined palm oil, wheat gluten, refined salt.
Crazy Cat Queen has said, Thomas, need a P.O. box. 100% send it to you. There you go.
We need to. I don't have a P.O. box, but if I don't know if you're on Facebook, connect there. I'll give you our mailing address. Let's see here. Emulsified soy. It's hard to read because everything in here is not spicy, but it sounds so terrible. Sodium carbonate, sodium phosphate, citric acid. Okay, so
the citric acid will get you.
Green tea, flavor oil, but everything's listed in order of the most prevalent in the package. None of it says anything about something hot. There's got to be some.
I'm not sure I'm buying this because I'm looking at it. It says the peppers are freshly picked. There's nothing fresh about ramen.
Nothing. Well, depending on where, if you go to like a Vietnamese one, like a pho or pho.
Well, if they make the noodles in front of you, then yes. But if you're opening a pack of ramen, it was made maybe in the last 20 years.
That's a fantastic. Sorry, it's all not
You
relevant.
can't get this somewhere else, SF. This is. That's why we're not relevant yet. But
Okay, so now there's a sub ingredient category. It says the soup, which is 22.7%. Water, soy sauce, white sugar, artificial chicken flavor, powder, artificial chicken flavor powder again, chili pepper powder, soybean oil.
it lists the same ingredient twice.
Yeah. Decolorized chili extract, red pepper powder, onion flavor, enhanced monosodium, garlic, modified potato starch, paprika, black pepper, and then curry powder. I'm sorry.
I think
This is not.
I just sent you a text from Crazy Cat Queen with some contact info and all that. So I think we've
Perfect.
made the connection.
All right.
All right. Now that we've talked about this, Denmark, you might have paved the way where I believe everyone else should follow. There's a chance.
We're going to find out next week.
Find out and see if it's good. Now I want my chips. I know no one else in my family will eat the spicy habanero. But
so he gave you the bag?
Yeah. He's like, these are too hot. And he even told me it would burn twice. But
they're not. You taste more of you've eaten them. So I don't know why I'm back.
It's like a spicy barbecue chip for me.
I agree. It's a barbecue chip with some pepper, kind of. That's what it tastes like. It tastes nothing like a habanero. But
It's
just
like
so you know,
spicy honey barbecue is what it should be called.
a basic chip clip for about a month, and they're fine. Just so you know, moving forward.
Those chip clips, which one do you have?
It's just a basic chip clip that has a little magnet on it. The ones that stick inside of the fridge.
I never had those growing up, ever.
I don't think they had them when our kids growing up.
It's like whoever invented this is like, oh, maybe if we could make like a little spring thing to hold something closed. It's like, why didn't we think of this sooner? I was like 21 years old when I saw that there was a bag that would hold chips closed. I always thought you just had to eat the whole thing every time you open it. Otherwise, they go stale. So, luckily, all chips are sold in single serving packs. So.
Well, it's like the rule about bacon. If you buy a pack that's not resealable, that's one serving of bacon.
That's why I buy it at Sam's Club.
So it's a bigger
72 slices at a time. Oh, man.
The default is always to food. Oh, but it works. I'm excited for the ramen. I can't wait.
I'm excited for you to try the ramen.
I think, well, this didn't count. You're the only one that's tried a questionable food on the show. You did the pickled Oreo.
Mm-hmm. That was bad. That was really bad.
And you were going to do your pickled eggs in the spicy maple pickle jar, but you had to throw it away.
Mixing that was probably saved my life. Honestly, it was so bad.
But you tried something else too, and I don't remember what it was. But no, we both tried something. Did we do?
Yeah, we tried the goldfish. I tried.
That's right.
You tried the Cajun. And I had some other brands there's some other one that was delicious.
Yeah, you cheated. I remember.
It wasn't. I neglected to purchase them in time before the limited edition was not available anymore. Since then, I keep looking at the store because they have like Frank's Spicy Hot goldfish now, like Frank's hot sauce. But I haven't seen the Cajun ones yet. The Old Bay
seasoning. Yeah. Well, if we have some here, I can find you some.
Everyone knows you roll the bag and lean it against something to seal in the freshness. That works with bread. Okay, with bread, I never put the little twisty tie back on those little clips, the little, the plastic, little flat things.
They're terrible.
Once you take them off, this is actually fun. It's dangerous. Yeah, break them in half, and then clip it on your finger so that the heavy part's towards you, and then just flick like that, and it will destroy anything in your path. I mean, it could be a person, it could be someone's eye, it could be a television. It's like a laser, only it spins and it's sharp and plastic. Now you know.
I thought that's what they're made for.
But bread, you twist and then tuck the bag underneath, and the weight of the bread holds it down. Chips being so light, they just uncurl.
So you got to pin it on the wall or something. I do the bread. I just twist it twice.
Eat them all.
And then I take the bread, I twist it twice, and then the top part that's left over, I just fold it back over the loaf. And then you don't have it can't come undone, twirl around.
That works for me. But unfortunately, my kids, when they eat bread, it doesn't matter. You get a loaf of sandwich bread, right? And it's got, I don't know how many slices are in it, 20, 30, something like that.
It's a great
18.
question.
I don't know. It's
Yeah.
a big loaf of bread. They open it up and then they stick their arm in down to their elbow, right? And then grab two pieces from the middle and then they pull, and all the rest of the loaf just like tumbles. And so you've got like the end piece, which is supposed to seal in the freshness, somewhere in the middle of the loaf, and pieces that are sideways, and drives me nuts. Drives me absolutely nuts. I used to do it as a kid, but now as an adult, I see the error of my ways and my kids' ways. Drives me crazy.
Do you eat the heel of the loaf or no? Throw it in the trash or keep it?
Throw it out. I don't eat the peel of the banana either. That's the end.
Not even the equivalent. Not even equivalent. No.
I don't eat the handle of pizza.
Okay. Who calls it a handle? Because it's crust. It's
where how do you hold your pizza?
Depends. Sometimes underneath. I don't always just hold it on the crust.
And then you get back, once you eat that part, you have to end up holding everyone holds the handle at some point. It's
not a handle if it's edible. Like you can't say, I don't eat the handle of my vacuum. I know, because it's a handle. It's
for the same reason. It's just there for convenience. It makes it easier to use the rest of the item.
So when you hold a sandwich with zero crust, do you eat all the way up to the part where you've been holding it and then throw that away?
I don't think that's a fair comparison.
That's 100% the same. That is apples to apples if I've ever heard apples to apples before.
Mm-hmm. Well, I put it in a sandwich baggie.
So no,
touch the bread, and then I just eat it out of the bag. If I go to a fast food restaurant, I unwrap and just eat the portion that's unwrapped. Occasionally, you take a bite of wrapper. That's the risk you take. But
what about a burrito? If you open a whole burrito, do you throw away the bottom half that you've touched as the handle?
No, I eat the whole burrito, and I eat the tops of muffins,
but not the bottom.
Depends on the type of muffin.
You ain't bluffing.
I don't know why we're talking about food. We should be talking about tractors. Thomas, what did the farmer say that couldn't find his tractor?
I don't know. I don't know this one.
Anybody see my tractor?
What? 80s, are you in here?
That's it.
Please commence with the tomatoes, please. Oh,
that's it. I mean, it's a farmer. What do you expect him to say? He's down to earth. He's just.
Oh gosh. Someone's. Oh, my most favorite one as of recent, especially I know pickles, not politics. We always say it, but it's Forrest Gump thinks he has the best chance to be our next president.
Really?
So he just feels like running.
Why did the tractor break up with the plow? Found greener pastures.
Oh. Fair enough. Fair enough. Oh, man. I think we've lost him.
I feel better.
There it is. We've lost him.
I spent over 2 hours today tearing my tractor apart, and I have a confession. I've already told you, Thomas, but I need to come clean to everybody else. No, it's not that I know how to repair engines and I actually knew what I was doing all along. I don't. I'm still counting that as a huge win. My confession is the tractor did that same thing before I started repairing it as when I finished. I was actually trying to fix that. It wasn't, the tractor was not like broken, not running. And I brought it back to life. I wish I could say that I did. But in reality, all I did was stop it from working and then start it again without making any change whatsoever in the performance of the vehicle.
Uh-huh.
I'm still counting it as a win. I'm going to call my old shop teacher and be like, hey, remember that Tecumseh engine that I broke? Well, I worked on a Briggs and Stratton today and it works still.
I took it apart and put it back together, just like you taught me to do, and it worked.
Mm-hmm. And I used real tools instead of just the hammer. Go after that split pulse vacuum hose. That's the next step. That's the next step. It's an easy fix, I think, if that's it. But it will also be very embarrassing if that is all that it is.
Well, you don't have to live stream it. you could just do it and not mention it.
I was thinking this would be like, you know how sometimes it's good luck. You know, you know all about luck with hockey, right? There's just some things you do because it's going to be good luck. I thought if I just live stream this, the stars will align and the tractor will work the way it's supposed to. Ideally,
right? In a perfect world.
And then once I tore it all apart, I was thinking, I just hope I can put all the pieces back on. That was like I didn't share that with you because I didn't want you guys to lose all hope as well. But once the pieces were all back on, I was like, well, maybe it will actually start. When it started, for a brief moment, I thought I might have accidentally fixed it. Like it might have, I don't know what I would have done that would have caused it to work better, but it's exactly the same as before. Rum, 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 rum. So there's my confession.
You tried.
Forgive me, Thomas, for I have sinned.
Oh
man.
Fun.
When my neighbor came over, sorry, when he came over to talk to me, I was so worried because most of the time he comes over and talks to me. He likes to show me because he carries he open carries a sidearm, a pew pew. And he was open carrying today as well. And he often likes to show me the sidearm. But him doing that would have banned my channel. And I was like, I had my finger on my hand over there. I was ready to just like kill the stream if he reached for it to say, hey, check out this new one. I went shooting with my son, something. I was there in my heart. I'm just like, please don't.
You're just gonna smack your camera, knock it over into the road.
Yes, yeah. He has no clue about YouTube and the rules and everything like that. I don't think he even knew that we were live streaming, but love him to death. But yeah, don't do that.
He sounded like a good guy when he came over. We could hear the chat. A lot of people are like, oh, those are my kind of people. I want a neighbor like that. Happy to help. Want to be there.
Dr. Bullbutter, I am not knocking Catholic confession. I apologize if that came across that way. I just felt that I felt that I needed to confess to Thomas and to you all because I didn't fix the tractor. I just put it back together so it's still broken. That's all.
Oh, I love it. We're just right at the hour mark. Are you still planning on reading 83 pages?
Let's read 83 pages tonight. To do that, we'll probably have to wrap up here. But
yeah, when you said let's, I was confused by.
You can go out and water your lawn. I will start reading. We'll open up a new live stream. How about that? Just so it doesn't bring down the ratings on the podcast. But
can they get lower?
Lee says we're on a generator. There is some terrible weather going on right now, mid-country, I believe.
Yes, 100%.
A couple storm chasers out and about.
Tornado was confirmed in Wyoming today and Nebraska.
Wyoming, that's pretty far west.
There was war, yeah. And correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't Lee in the Northeast?
I think you are, Lee. I think you're northeast.
Oh, yeah.
You would know better, but
pulling it up right now. There's severe thunderstorm watch up in his neck of the woods for the next 2 hours. So that means storms have already ripped through where he's at and knocked out that power. Yeah, because Lee and Chels, they can.
They do court watching for us up there.
Yeah, they've been part of the Karen Reed stuff, and they know what the haps is going on. Yep, looking at it now, they got some good weather. I'm jealous, Lee.
jealous. They're on a generator trying to stay cool. You're saying you're jealous as you sit in the 70-degree office with lights. It's good.
He'll get me on Facebook for that later.
Yeah, it's all good. I'm excited. Weekend's coming up. I just got invited to just like a get together at a friend's place. A guy we met. He's from Kingston, and I think he's got some land out in a place called Snow Hill or Pink Hill. It's something about a hill. We're in flatland here, so if you have elevation, everyone knows about it. So something hill, we're going to go there and might even do a little pew pew.
Something Hill's quite the big deal.
Yeah, yes. I'm excited. So I'll take my metal detector and see if he's got some old land that wants me to, see if there's something under it.
Fun. Those of you that like chips with a little bit of spice, not sponsored, but recommend.
And I'll second the recommendation. A little heat. I would say probably not much more than a spicy maple bourbon pickle, honestly. It's in the same ballpark.
100%. So cool.
Thank you to Denise for 12 months. Such a great group. Appreciate that. Red Pen gifted 5 memberships today. Thank you. And Crazy Cat Queen came in with the super chat as well. Thank you, all of you. Appreciate that. And congratulations on those who received those gifted memberships from Red Pen. Tomorrow we have Karen Reed. We have a big decision from the judge.
Uh-huh.
We have no Wade Wilson. That's pushed off till Monday. Might have something from Sarah Boone any day now. It's been almost a week since the judge was supposed to file that. But anyway,
Friday.
Until then, tonight we're going to read Young Thug, and let me say this one is spicy because it's written to a different court.
Ooh.
Yeah, the lawyer brought their ladder. They took it to a higher court, and we're going to go into that. So.
Love it.
I'm super, super excited. We'll read that until either I fall asleep on stream or we decide to just call it quits tonight.
Fair enough. And happy summer solstice, everyone. Longest day of the year today.
Yes.
Here we are.
That's why we're staying up.
That's why we're staying up. So those of you that chose to hang out with us on the podcast, thank you so much, because Scott and I really have a fun time doing this. We have fun with you guys in chat that interact and choose to come and be here, part of it. We really do. This is just a fun hangout time for Scott and I to chit chat and be with you guys. So thank you so much for being a part of it. We appreciate it.
Thank you. You guys have a good night. Catch you on the flip side. Bye.